Hello everyone, welcome to JCE Connect. So, the previous class we were discussing about the factors affecting labor productivity management. So, we'll continue with the same steps. In the previous class, we were discussing about factors affecting labor productivity management, and you have seen so many factors such as unfair wages, recruitment of unskilled personnel, and then poor communication, negative influencing factors, and followed by lack of motivation, then lack of training, at last lack of investment in research as well as development. So till now we have finished unfair wages, recruitment of unskilled personnel, poor communication, negative influencing factor, and now in this class we'll study remaining these three. That is lack of motivation, lack of training, and lack of investment in research as well as the development. So negative influencing factors. So how exactly it is going to affect the productivity of labor management? So this includes delay in the delivery of materials and equipment and poor welfare facilities. So that's nothing but what? So how exactly the delay is going to affect to the labor productivity management? So in the construction site, you will be having a number of laborers, those who are ready to work, but the contractor, if you fail to explain regarding, if you fail to bring the resources regarding the construction facilities, so that time the laborers are going to sit quietly without doing any work. So in that cases, even though you are having a well number of laborers to do the work, but if you fail to bring the other resources, so again that is a lack of productivity in the construction management. The negative factors that reduces the productivity as well as the effectiveness of the personnel, because laborers at the morning time they will be ready to work with the various stuffs, and in some cases the materials are reached delayed to the construction site by till the afternoon and all. So that mental stability to do the work that is going to be reduced because of these negative factors. And more than here, 80% of the workers they are complained about this, and in some of the sites the effect of these factors were very clear, because here the labors, the most of the labors around 80% in the construction site they were complained regarding the same, because they will be having certain wages on daily basis as well as the contract basis. In that cases, if materials are not delivered to the construction site on time, so that total duration it is going to be increased there, right? So to avoid that, the contractors as well as its builders are ready to give the proper resources to the laborers to carry out the maximum effectiveness in the construction work. And in some cases, not only the facilities, not only the resources, even they need to provide the proper facilities like hospitality and all, because sorry, in one construction site there were no toilet facilities for the workers, and whenever they need across the workers had to take about 15 minutes break to go to the nearest toilets, because it's like a natural things. So that time we need to take a certain breaks and all, that time it should be nearly available to the construction site such as the toilets and all, because if they need to take the rest or break for such things more than half an hour and all, so again it is going to affect the labor productivity in the construction site. And in other side, the contractors had hired a concreting crew, but 4 hours into the working day the work had not started because the concrete mixer would not work. So here the contractors need to check about the equipments, that whether they are working properly or not, because they will bring that one to the construction site without any quality assurance and all, but if it is failed to work on the construction site, again it is going to affect to the labor productivity management. and so it is very necessary to provide the required equipment and materials in time to the laborers, and contractor need to provide all the facilities for the laborers such as houses, toilets, water and power supply, so that the work will get complete as per the schedule. So if you provide the proper and basic facilities to the laborers, they will be very happy to work on the construction site, because the most of the time whatever they will give time to travel and all from their staying place to the construction place, so that should be again nearer to the construction site. And moving on to the next part, that is lack of motivation. So here, in lack of motivation, most of the contractor, the interview did not seek any lack of motivation as a management problem, because they argue that since more than 95% of their workers are hired on casual terms, they should not accept any kind of motivation. So here, contractors are taking labors in a bulk product, so that major part of the work can be carried out by those bulk labor. So that time they need to give the proper motivations before starting any work in the construction site. So they will come to know that what exactly they need to do and how exactly they need to carry out that work. And here we need to give the proper confidence to the labor such that they will work properly by their willingness. And more than 90% of the workers, however, identified this is a major shortcoming, with most of them selecting job security and money as the best motivator. So here, not only in the form of words, even in the form of salary as well as the wages, and even with respect to the job security, the contractors need to give the best motivation skills to the workers those are working under them. And this is clearly inspired by the current high level of unemployment, because here laborers will be having less knowledge about the educational system, and even with the technical skills. So if they are not ready to work on the construction site with the proper facilities, easily they can be replaced by other laborers because of unemployment. And here lack of motivation also led to a high staff turnover in the construction industry, leading to a lack of continuity in the organization. So here they need to give the proper motivations that depends upon their confidence and willingness. Easily the laborers can carry out the work, and that increases the labor productivity management. And motivation maybe in various form, that including money, recognition, bonuses, job security, participation in decision making, etc. So here we need to, I mean, as a top management, they should give the proper freedom to the labor such that even they should consider them in the decision making process. Because if their involvement is there in the organization means, so they will give some responsibility as well as the confidence to do the work, and depends upon their involvement, so that the work can be easily increased. I mean, that productivity of the labors can be easily increased. And here, motivation can be given various aspects, such as we need to give the proper salary to them on daily basis, or else on the monthly basis as per the agreement. And we need to give the bonuses also. So on every year, if we provide the bonuses to the laborers, so that their mental stability will be increased, with respect to that we can increase the labor productivity management in the construction. And recognition, so recognition is nothing but we need to pick their talent in front of everyone, so that will give the proper motivation on their skills as well as the techniques, so that that increases again the labor productivity management. And job security is nothing but we need to give a proper security for them with respect to a job, so that in upcoming years and all, they will be having mental stable that their job is about to save. So we need to give the proper agreement with respect to the total duration of the project, and then easily we can take the work from them in a well manner. And the lack of training. So here most workers which got interviewed by the contractors and all, they had not been any trained by their employers. While the contractors, they are argued that they trained the workers on the job. So here before starting any work in the civil engineering aspects or works, we need to give the proper training to the laborers. So that once if you give the training that how that process is going to be worked out and which materials we need to consider, how much duration it is going to consume. So each and every aspects we need to give the clear idea for them. So that clear ideas that gives that confidence level to the laborers, and that training that increases the productivity of labor management. And this is however not effective given that the most of these workers do not stay with the same employer for a sufficiently long time. So here as I told, they will be having less knowledge about the educational, I mean the qualifications and all. It's not much up to the mark which is required for the technical labors. So easily they can be replaced by the other labors because of unemployment. That time, if we give start giving the training to the laborers, and in upcoming days, if they shift from that job to the further job, that training is again is going to be waste for them. So whatever the duration as well as the skills we have used on those laborers, it is going to be waste. So we need to give the proper agreement with the labor such that after giving such trainings and all, they should work under you with some part of duration. So that one you need to confirm before giving this training. Hence, it is most important that contractor must give continuous training in order to update their skills. So whatever the new techniques are there, so that contractors need to explain for them, so that it can even save the durations as well as the cost. And contractors need to improve their communication skills, and they need to learn new methods and technologies so that it is going to help for the laborers to work without using external energy. And here managers must continuously invest in training of their workers. So this training and all again it requires additional cost, but that is directly going to give a proper results at the end of that work, because once if you give the training to the laborers, they will be having clear idea that how exactly they need to do the work. So based upon that, you can complete the work well in time. And further, in construction, this is especially the paramount for the supervisory staff, and inability of construction supervisors to plan work, communicate with the workers and direct their work activities which is adequately is a major factors in declining cost effectiveness of the construction industry. So here whatever they are going to give the training to the labor, so it is directly affecting the cost effectiveness of the construction industry, because once if they give the training, and they will be, I mean the laborers will be having the clear idea about the work, so that that work will be easier to work out. And lack of investment in research as well as the development. So here research and development which is necessary in order to devise new and more effective and efficient working methods. So you have seen in most of the construction industry that still they are going to adopt the traditional method, like the concrete mixing and all. So when you have proper techniques and proper equipment to work on those, and if you have used again the manpowers, and also again it is a lack of research in the construction industry. So we need to adopt the proper new methods as well as the techniques in the construction industry, and that device is the more effective work and efficient work in the different techniques. So we need to adopt this research and development in the construction industry. So when the day passes and all, whatever the new techniques have been adopted in the construction industry, so if we adopt that one in our construction industry, so it is going to help for the laborers that easily they are going to work with that. So again, that is going to increase the labor productivity management. And all the interviews felt that this is the responsibility of the government and institutions of higher learning. And however, as our country moves towards the new economic order where the private sector becomes the leader in all the economic endeavors, investment in research and development must become from them. So here, whatever the government is investing with respect to research as well as the development, so that it should reaches to the each and every construction industry, so that that work can be easily carried out within in a particular durations, and again that is going to increase the overall GDP of our Indian country. And the institution of higher learning are able to willing to carry out such research, but they are handicapped by lack of funding. And in any case, it is the contractor and their staff who are the best suited to identify the areas which such research must focus on. So here in our Indian country, what we can see, the institution of higher learning, they should be involved in this particular research and development, and then they should pick up a few techniques which are most useful to the construction industry. So because of lack of fund in the government, it is unable to start the process of research and development. So again, that is directly affecting the overall Indian GDP. Okay, and here, because of that reason, these contractors need to give such idea in the researches and all in the private sector. So then they should involve those techniques in their construction industry, and they should adopt those developments in their construction industry. And the contractors in particular, being the potential beneficiaries of such research, must be willing to invest. So they should have certain interest regarding this, because whatever they are investing the money for this additional research and development, so it will cost with the additional budget. So again, it is going to decrease the profit, but ultimately at the end of that project, they will come to know that whatever they have invested the money for this research and development, so again it is directly affecting the labor productivity management in the increasing order. And wages and statutory requirements, so it is like a minimum wages act, so that is came in 1948. So as per the minimum wages act of 1948, which was passed for the welfare of labor and provided for fixing the minimum rate of wages of the labor. So here the labor's cost, it is going to be fixed as per the act of 1948. And here the act claims at making provisions for the statutory fixation of the minimum rate of wages in number of industries where there are extensive chances for the exploitation of labor. So here the government has suggested that minimum this much amount we need to pay for the labors on daily basis. So like that they brought an act, so that is going to help these labors. And the main provisions for minimum wages acts are the setting of advisory committees to collect the informations on which the minimum wages are based. And here the wages of a worker in scheduled employment, they shall be paid on working day by the seventh day after the last day of the wages period if the establishment has been less than 1,000 employees. So that is again depends upon the number of employees what they are present in that construction industry. And the 10th day after the last day of the wage period if the establishment is more than 1,000 employees. So if the less than 1,000 employees, that after the seventh day after the last day of the wage period, and here for the 10th day if the employees numbers are more than